say the average life that I used to live. I think my life has become pretty extraordinary because of the tools that I've discovered and that I like to share with people. But on an average day 10 years ago, when I would get up, take care of my kids, go to work, come home, make dinner, do it all over again. I'm not sure that thrive ever was a word that I even thought about. It was survival. Survival. Getting through the day.
Yes, I can align with that completely.
Okay, so it's very understandable for many people that have not stumbled across the kind of information that you and I have to realize that there's a whole other possibility and realm of possibilities. There's lots of possibilities than what we think we're stuck with. That was another buzzword for me 8 years ago when I, like I said, was going through a difficult time, and I was seeking for help and looking in magazines I discovered like intuitive readings and people that gave readings, and I remember seeing this big ad, "Are you stuck?" I'm like, oh, am I? Like, dial that phone. I am so stuck. But the thing about getting unstuck means that we may have to move out of our comfort zone. Now, so we'll do a little test with you, Trish. Might do a little chakra scan. Now, I know you've done a lot of inner work to feel, I know, and I can tell energetically that you are really open to moving forward. But over the next couple weeks, I will be tuning into your chakras. We're going to see if there's any blocks that are potentially holding us back, because we all have subconscious beliefs, which are things our fifth grade teacher might have said, or something that parents might have said, not meaning or intending any harm, but it just, for me, it was in art class in high school. I remember the teacher saying, you're not very good. Look at this person next to you. Look how great this drawing is coming out. And I remember thinking, wow, that feels terrible. Right. And it took me 10 years to even go to an art store and contemplate. Now I'm a professional artist, and I work hanging in the Laguna Beach Gallery, California website. I get commissioned. I'm just saying, it took me a long time, and it could have taken me my whole life if I hadn't stumbled across this intuitive thing, that I would have convinced myself that I wasn't good at art. And I had the same thing going for writing. I could not write. I remember my freshman year college teacher telling me that this wasn't original enough, and it was just, I got C if I was lucky. And here I am publishing 2 books. It's like, okay, now I'm writing. But anyway, these beliefs held me back to the point where I was clogged and stuck and depressed, quite frankly, at the age of 40. Very, very depressed and stuck. From these subconscious beliefs that I took on, you don't go into blame, like I know you understand that, but nonetheless, these things get stuck. These messages we receive these messages, and they paralyze us sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not like we walk around with these neon signs. Oh, my high school teacher crippled me artistically, but it's in there. It's in there. If you don't think about it every day, it's in there. So the work I like to do with people, I'm like a psychic detective. I get the information for people psychically, intuitively, whatever you want to call it, and then I find out what messages people get in the intention of healing it, removing it, and freeing them into creating a whole new life for themselves with a whole new bunch of possibilities that they never thought possible, and live into them. So, which kind of reminds me, you are incredibly gifted writer, songwriter, poet, whatever you want to call it. Wow, you've got some serious talent when it comes to expressing yourself in verse.
And that's what I used to do a lot. When you talk about your artwork, when you first started, a lot of that was my outlet, was writing the song lyrics or the poetry. And so some of it has this phenomenal, I can look back at my past and know that was my outlet to deal with some of the stresses in my life, and I could really dig into it. And yeah, to be able to do something with that would be amazing.
You've got to. Can't you? You see that, right? I mean, that's the connecting with it. We're not going to throw it in a pile and stuff it in a drawer. Here's some brilliant writing. Again, the formula, I feel, that I want to let you and let everyone know about, the formula for this, bringing your gifts and talents out into a bigger arena, is to connect with it, put energy into it, acknowledge it, and then find places to deliver the information. You see, like I do chakra clearings, okay? It's a gift that I've developed and discovered, and like your writing, it's just something I do, okay? So now here I am with this wonderful ability, and so now I work day in and day out to say, who's going to be interested in this? Today I picked up the phone. Well, yes, the other day I picked up the phone and I called the Wonderful Holistic Center, and they called me back today. I will be doing a book signing and offering workshops doing this chakra clearing at this book center. And you know what? There's book centers all over the country.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I just posted in the circle before the show. But you see what I'm saying? I have developed this ability. I'm acknowledging the ability, and now I write down places.
And you're being confident with it and utilizing it. And that's what
Yeah.
I really look to. It's gaining that confidence in it and going, okay, what do I do with it? Instead of letting the fear go, well, I'll just wait. And I procrastinate.
I need to make a tape for you. Trisha, this is awesome.
Exactly.
Right. I know there's this thing at Staples somebody told me about, like a little thing you click it and it goes, that was easy. I don't know. We need these little affirmation tools or something. I think I need one of those that was easy things. I don't know about you, that's one of my blocks I'm overcoming. Everything is so hard. Oh, what a struggle. I got to call all these places, and I had to shift my mindset a couple months ago and say, I get to do this. I can do this. Not I have to do this. And so it's interesting little things that we tell ourselves, and then if we reframe it, we get a completely new energy with it. So now it's like, oh, look what I get to do today. It's completely different than I have to.
Yeah, saying get to is instead of I have to, but I get to.
Yeah.
That's definitely a shift.
And that's another one that
Thinking.
Yeah, and that's another one that's connected with getting into your heart, which I've got to work on you with this, because I could tell you all day long how brilliant your writing is, but again, we're going to work to get you to connect with it, because once you connect with it, you're going to be picking up that phone like nobody's business. Like, it's going to be so easy, because you're naturally going to be connected to, this is what I have to offer, and who wouldn't want it, right? If you get the right people. Now, I'm an intuitive, and I'm also a businesswoman. I have my own business with this, so I have to learn marketing, and I keep using words, stumbled upon, I say this because I'm self-taught. Almost everything I've done has been self-taught, and so now I realize that...
And that's inspiring to me. That's very inspiring.
Oh, I'm glad. So I've heard about this word niche for years, but now it's really coming into my intuition. I just went to New York City, as you know, with my book, and I met close to 100 television producers, journalists across the country, and radio personalities, and I have been booking a lot of great things. Along with that, I realized that there was a diverse group of people that, let's just put it this way, there was probably a handful of us psychic, intuitive, spiritual type people at this event, in terms of authors and experts of who were meeting the media. And we all kind of grouped in the middle and said, so how did it go with this one, and how did it go with that one, and without naming any names, I will say that, well, let's just say Dr. Phil put some intuitives on his television show last week, and I've seen other shows more welcoming to that, but some are not, and that's fine, because you know what? That's not my audience, and that's not my niche, which is my new little word that I'm I even just ordered this book from Amazon. Like I said, I'm self-taught. I find things to, I'm looking at the internet like, oh, there's this book on coaching, which I have a coaching business, so now I need to find my niche. I've been in coaching for years and pretty much word of mouth, been working nonstop. So when I really take this seriously, I think it could really be a turning point. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm putting time and energy into it. Like, I'm going to learn what this niche is. I know I have one. You're in my niche. I'd be in your niche. We appreciate each other's gifts and talents. But you know what? Not everybody is going to, and that's okay. If you want to change the channel, you can. Please don't. But,
Well, and
that's what I'm saying.
Being able to laugh about that and know that that's true.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to like you.
Right.
And that's something that it's like I've always worked very hard to be likable.
Right.
But I guess that level of acceptance of going, people don't have to like me. It doesn't mean they hate me. It means they just don't have an appreciation for me, and that's okay.
Resonate. Everything is frequency and energy, and with what you resonate with, and that's one of the greatest lessons that I'm learning. I mean, I feel like I went out of the gate like, isn't everybody going to want to hear this information? No.
Yes. Accepting that the answer to that is no is hard, and I tend to overanalyze and dissect and then reanalyze it. But letting go of some of that, analyzing it, and just accepting it that's okay. They're not in the same place I am, and I know it's good information. It works for me, and I hope it will help others, but it won't help everybody.
Well, the people that are meant to hear your message will hear it. Now, here's another tip and key here. If you don't put yourself out there, you're gonna miss all those people that are meant to hear your beautiful words and your beautiful music.
Oh, and that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's empowering.
Mm-hmm. So that's when we do a letting go of attachment of what we think some kind of outcome will be, and go into the trust that if we keep doing, I say what we're here to do, but to speak in more mainstream language, I guess, if we feel like there's something in our heart that we want to, whether we want to help our families with, our friends with, move to a greater audience with, if you learn something and you have any kind of inspiration like you do to help other people, which I think is a beautiful thing, that we all have learned things and we all come together and share our knowledge and wisdom, we create quite a powerful force in the world, I believe. So just knowing that you have something, and I love to use the word special, but I'm guided not to, because it's not really in keeping with the humility that is necessary, I feel, to be of the best service that you can in the world. And I've just, that's something that is spiritually, I've just been advised. It's not, we're all special, so I don't want anybody to think, I don't want to think what I'm doing is special, because it's a gift that anybody can develop, quite frankly, but it's something that in my DNA, or something that is a part of me that comes quite easily in some ways, although we can work at our gift and even take classes. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying what I wrote in my book is different ways to realize what your gifts and talents is. And if you kind of lose track of time and you just find that this is easier than you thought, then that is something to look at. I mean, people that cook all day long and don't think of it, doesn't mean you have to be on the Food Network, but it means that you could be. There's all kinds of wonderful creative of ways of being or solving problems, just so many unique gifts and talents that people have that they don't think anything of because it's theirs, and they're like, oh, that's just me, that's just how I am. Well, that's not how everybody is. So, like you said.
Right.